I have 7 p.m. You're ready?
Ready? Okay, let's get started. And the first item on our agenda is case number 221721 Prescott Street. They have requested a continuance to the next meeting. Is that right, Andrew?
That is correct. Based on some public comment, they'd like to revise some their plans. So Sai, I guess since you're next to me, if I could ask that you read that into the record.
Letter addressed to the Zoning Board of Appeals dated January 31, 2023. Referencing Zoning Board case number 22-11, 21 Prescott Street in Reading. Dear Board, on behalf of the applicant in the above captioned zoning application, Harbor Property Group LLC, we respectfully request to continue the public hearing on this matter to the next available public hearing date, which we understand is February 28, 2023. My client intends to revisit the proposed design and to address abutter feedback in advance of the next hearing date. Please contact me should you require any additional information. Thank you. Respectfully, Joshua Latham.
And then you guys can discuss if you'd like, but if you want to make a motion.
I have a motion to accept that request for continuance.
I would move to continue case number 22-17 on the request of the petitioner without prejudice until the regularly scheduled meeting of the board on February 28th, 2023.
Second. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, passes. Next on our agenda is case number 2218, 3337 Ash Street. The Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing in the Select Board's meeting room at Town Hall, 16 Lowell Street, Reading, Mass. On Tuesday, January 31st, 2023 at 7 p.m. on the application of Michael Tyne pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 10, for a variance under Reading zoning bylaw, Sections 4.5.2, 5.3.2, and 7.4, as may be determined by the Zoning Board, to convert an existing single-family dwelling into a non-conforming two-family dwelling use in the S15 zoning district on the property located at 337 Ash Street, Assessor's Map 12, Lot 14, in Reading, Massachusetts. Unless there's an objection, I'll dispense with the reading of the abutters list, except to say that the abutters were notified, as were the following: Select Board, Police Department, Building Department, Health Department, Engineering Division, Town Clerk, Fire Department, Conservation Commission, Assessor's Office, CPDC, members and associate members of the Board of Appeals, and the planning boards of Wakefield, Linfield, North Reading, Stoneham, Woburn, and Wilmington. Testimony before this board is taken under oath, so if you think you do want to speak, please stand and raise your right hand. Please stand. And I swear that the testimony given by me before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The response is I do. Okay. Sorry?
I'm still trying to open your agenda.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and present your application. Oh, that's not you. Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anytime, Michael Tyne's wife.
Oh, okay. Are you going to speak then?
Yes.
Okay, did you just take the oath?
What do you mean?
No.
Oh, could you raise your right hand? I'm just going to give you the oath.
I'm sorry,
That's okay. I swear that the testimony given by me before this board will be the whole truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And the response is I do.
I do.
Okay, thanks. So you can tell us anything you'd like to tell us about the application?
Yes, 337 Ash Street is my home. My husband's family built it in 1950. His great-grandfather lived in the house next door. Way before that, as of right now, it's a one-family with an accessory apartment. We have 2 addresses. It's been like that since 1972. In 2014, we came in front of the board, got an illegal accessory apartment. Right now, we would just like it so it could actually be a legal 2-family. It's got 2 addresses. The accessory apartment has its own 2 means of egress. Our side has its own 2 means of egress. It's basically running as a two-family right now. We just would like to make it a legal two-family. I have, some plots showing the home that it's, can I step forward?
Sure. Is this something that you attached to your application
I
before?
believe he did.
Because if you
yes.
did, we already have those.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
How it's separated, it's got two separate driveways. We've already got 337, 337.
Do hold on just 1 second, Andrew. Can you put it up?
Yep. Pulling it up right now.
Yes,
So you can refer to that.
yep. So you can see my side with the stairs. And then the accessory apartment is down on the bottom on the right side. The left side is 337, the right side is 337A. It's had two addresses since 1972. We just would, we just see if we could make it a legal two-family without the accessory. It's basically been running that way. I have some abutted signatures that I got. I only got, basically the people right next door, right in our, pretty much our area. Like they said, it's already been running that way. Everyone just assumes it's a legal two-family. I don't know if you want to.
What did they sign? Just their,
If you turn it around, that's what I wrote. They read it, they signed it.
okay, you want to read that into the record?
Sure. The attachment to 8 signatures from residents on Ash Street reads, "My name is Tammy Tyne and Michael Tyne. We live at 337 and 337A Ash Street, Reading, Massachusetts. We are going in front of the zoning board because our home is not zoned for a two-family. We're not changing any floor plans or structure to our home as it is already has 2 addresses and is a family property. We are just changing it on paper. There are multiple 2 to 3 family and 4 families on Ash Street. Our home has been in our family for over 70 years, and we need your help. Thank you for your time. Your neighbor, Tammy and Michael Tyne."
Okay, and I'll just read the signatures for the record. That's okay. Gary Messina Senior, I think, 328. I assume that's 328 Ash Street.
Yep.
Jennifer Fennell, 338 Ash Street. Murph Fennell?
Her husband, Mark, I think. His name is Mark, I don't think.
Okay, and then there's 2 signatures here that I cannot read. I can't read the writing, but it's 333 Ash and 334 Ash. Do you
Yes.
say those names, please?
Brian, I can't pronounce his last name. And his
Okay.
wife,
Okay,
yep, sorry.
all right, they put down separate is his wife, do they live at the same house or?
They do, but maybe he just signed it.
All right, because one says 333 Ash and the other says 334.
Okay.
Okay, and then there's,
Yeah.
I think it might be Carrie Stone, 341 Ash,
Yep,
and Rick Day something
yes.
at 341 Ash.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go on. Sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, I have a thing, with the post office, how we already got 337A, Ash Street, it's been getting mailed on the other side, on the separate side of the house. That's pretty much what we would like to do is make it a complete, it's, right now, it's a, one family with the accessory apartment. It has to be owner occupied. We were thinking, if, someday we were able to sell it or whatever, we could, if it was a, legal two-family, you wouldn't have to live in it to, rent out one side or the other. There is 2 houses up from us that is a rental. It's a single family. We just, and then 5 houses up starts with the multis. So we're pretty much just asking if we could legally have it be a two-family.
Okay, I'll open it up to questions from board members. Si, would you like to start?
Yeah. It was a very familiar property because, as you say, it came before the board in 2014. Brought back the memories of that because I was on the board in 2014 as the chairman of this board. And what we did was we basically recognized you at that time that it was an existing accessory apartment. It had been for quite some time. And we just made it proper, okay?
Yes.
But the thing I have with this is that it's a variance. Granted, it's what I guess some would refer to as a use variance, but it's still a variance. And they're very hard to come by. And there are 4 criteria that you need to address for that variance. And I think what was in the package was not, I think, a well thought out answers to those 4 criteria. And so I have a problem with the variance request at the moment. I would like to have seen a much better address of those 4 criteria, really thought out. And so I could have a better look at.
What were the, which ones are
You
you?
did write, you did write it up in the criteria. I mean, the criteria are addressed, but they're very poorly addressed. They're listed in your application. So I would like to see perhaps a better cut at that before I would have to make a decision. Because the variance goes with the property.
Mhm.
You move out, that's a 2-family.
Yeah, so we
That's
did have,
2 families, so I can come in and buy the house and rent out both sides and use it as an investment.
right, so we did have it on the market
Okay.
over the summer, and the woman in the zoning board, you know, that answers the phone, the young lady, told some realtors that it was an illegal apartment and that we had open permits, which was not true. We ended up figuring that out and discussing that, and that's what made us push to actually try to make it a 2-family, because we literally lost about, I don't know, probably about 12 customers that would have bought our home if they weren't told that. Then the market started dropping, then the interest rates started dropping. So she sort of helped us put that together. Because she pretty much felt bad that she had the wrong information and was telling the realtors the wrong information.
It's interesting to note that back in 2014, there were 2 accessory apartments in that house. There was the one that's there now. but
Yes, we had a finished basement.
In the basement,
Mhm.
which
Was not an accessory apartment, it was a finished basement.
got rid of.
Yeah, it's gotten rid of, yep. We have a nice set of oak staircase going right down in the middle. When we bought the house, there was all separate entrances. There was no way to get in the basement. We had a friend living down there. He was living down there, but we had a tenant on that accessory apartment that didn't like him. So that's what started that whole situation.
Well, my bottom line is the variance criteria are not well addressed. And based on what I have in the package, I have trouble at this point approving.
Yeah, I think I would largely agree with that just in terms of like the variance criteria. And I think that, I mean, I guess I'm still not quite seeing like a strong case to change it from an accessory apartment, because even the accessory apartment, I think is transferable to a new owner. They would just have to be owner occupied still, which I think would be reasonable.
I have a question. So if I needed to move out of my home
Hmm.
and rent it, would the accessory apartment have to stay empty?
I can't say with 100% certainty, but I believe so, yeah.
Because, I mean, my husband got severely hurt on a job. He was on workman's comp, but it took months for the workman's comp to kick in. So it just, I mean, they're both legally running, they're both running as apartments. It just doesn't make sense that we would have to just rent one side and leave the other side open. I mean, they're both do their own thing. They have their own doors, their own doorbells, their own mailboxes, their own driveways. I mean, we're 2 houses down, they, you know, they rent their house out, no problem.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just like, that is the way the zone, I think that's the law in your zoning district, so.
What the other board members are trying to say is they're not necessarily saying no, it's just there are certain criterias, and I don't know if you know what they mean, but.
No, I don't.
Okay, so that you need a substantial hardship, which it sounds like you touched upon, although I don't see that in the application. And then you also need to make sure that it's without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or derogating from the intent or purpose of the bylaw. So those are the 3 criteria that you need to meet for that variance. And I think that what they're saying is just not addressed
Okay,
enough sufficiently here for us to make a favorable decision on your side. I do actually have a couple other questions.
Okay.
So are they separately metered?
no,
Okay,
which
That would-
we'd have to make it a 2-family for it to be able to, for us to make it separate metered. That's what we were
Oh,
told.
Okay. If it's separately metered and that goes back as far as being grandfathered in, that might help
Yeah,
our case as well. Some other things that could help is if you did a street listing. I know you said, did you say it was in your family since 1970 or?
no, it's been in my husband's family. His grandfather built the house in 1950, but he grew up in the house next door.
Okay,
His grandfather grew up in the house next door. It was all land, farmland. His great-grandfather owned it all. He owned all of Ash Street.
okay. And
Before any houses were there, his house was the only one there at the time.
it's always been 2 addresses since they built it, is what?
And they built it in 1972.
Okay.
They put the one house was, my side of the house was built in 1950, and they put the in-law side in 1972.
Do you know if they asked for it to be, did they ask for it to be a 2-family with that request, or did they just ask for their accessory dwelling? at the time?
Me and my husband got the accessory apartment approved in 2014.
But that was already put in 1970.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. 1972 roughly.
Okay. I'll open it up for public comment and do you plan to speak because you came in later? And if so, I need to swear you in.
No, I live
Okay.
on the street as well, so I was just in favor because I don't think that there's, I mean, it's a busy street to begin with, and I've lived on the street for 26 years, and I've seen a lot of the changes going on the street, so when I saw it, I never usually come, but I just decided that, you know, in all fairness, they do have the size and the way it's set up, it could definitely be easy to be a 2-family. And as a realtor, I know that they did, because I wasn't the agent, but I know they had a problem with the market because, you know, if a buyer goes in there thinking they're buying a 2-family, their lender has got them financed on a 2-family, so they're going in there for nothing. They're not qualifying because they're qualified for a 2-family and illegally is only a single.
Okay,
So I just thought they were having a hard time, and I just thought it would be fair to voice my opinion.
okay. Could you state your name and address, please?
My name is Sandra McLaughlin, and I live at 323 Ash Street.
Okay, and you missed the oath earlier and I know you already spoke, but I'm going to swear you in retroactively.
Okay.
I swear that the testimony given by me before this board was the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And the response is I do. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I've just seen the changes, and I know, you know, it was hard for the realtors because, you know, the people didn't know whether they were coming or going. They go in there with what aspect, and you know, an accessory, even though it's an accessory, you can't legally say you're getting income from it. So a lender ain't gonna lend on accessory. It's supposed to be for family.
Well, ours is you can rent it out, but it has to be owner occupied. I have to live in the home.
But a mortgage lender wouldn't take it.
They
as
don't
that.
consider it,
No.
it's just a single family.
Yeah.
Oh, Okay, sir, could you state your name, please? Or are you Mr.
Fine.
You're Mr. Tyne? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry I
thanks.
was late. I just got back.
No, that's okay.
Yes. Tell the truth, the whole truth, and not but the truth, so help me God.
Okay,
That work?
that works. All right, I know there's other people who want to speak too, but Mr. Tyne, do you want to add anything?
No, it's just, the house has been, I got gas. I just had the gas. You guys gave me the gas permit to come in for two family. So I want to get the electric to come in. And I want to have 2 meters put in, so that way it has one side. But I can't do the electric because it's a single family home. There's 200 amps already coming in. So it's been this way for, ever since I was a kid. My grandfather built the house. My whole family worked for the town of Reading, put in an electric system, all the electric lines. My great grandfather was a lineman. So my family's been here for 100 years, And I've seen a lot of changes. They put all them houses across the street that used to be farmland. I got pictures, you should see them. And it used to be all farmland. My great grandfather used to farm it, And then all out back of my house was all farmland. And all up Ash Street pretty much, because there was no houses. The only house was, my great grandfather owned it, Miss Ravanese moved in. He sold them a section of land right beside it. But I mean, I got pictures of it. It's all just farms, horses and cows, like it's crazy, the pictures. But I just want to make it a legal 2-family this way here. I got my son that lives next door, my grandson. I could say, here's your electric bill, here's your gas bill, because it's going to be a gas bill pretty soon. So I'm switching to gas, and the Natural Grid just came and put gas into the house. And I'm going to put 2 new furnaces in. And then, so I just, we want to make it a 2-family. We're not going to sell it anymore. We're going to keep it. So, it just wording. It's not like we're changing anything, The building structure itself ain't changing. It's been this way for 40 years, since the 70s. When the guys gave them the permit to do it originally, and we just want to make it a legal 2-family.
Okay,
So
all right, and you'd like to speak as well?
I'm Jason Clark, 342 Ash Street, directly across the street. To start off, my mother has been on the zoning board of Carver, Massachusetts for 20 years. So she was all over me about coming. I thought when I first got the thing, I assumed this had to do with them selling it. And that's my thing. If they're staying, I'm fine with the idea of it being a family if they're staying. That said, my concerns were if they were gonna sell it, and specifically the question of would the variance grant the idea that if, I know a lot of corporations have come in and buy land in town these days, corporate entities. Could they make it, like you said, an investment property? That was one of my concerns. It didn't have to be owner occupied. Because like I said, when they're there, great. But if they leave and that you said it stays with the variance stays with the property, I might be concerned about that. And then the other thing was a business. If a business, like a retail business that was gonna have a lot of traffic went in there, again, if they're there, I'm not worried.
Isn't it residential?
can I just say one thing? Across the street is commercial. So it's, like if he wanted to open a business, he could actually open a business in his house. Because across the street is commercially zoned.
I'm not.
Literally right across.
Because you're on the line.
Street was residential.
Yeah, no, the whole street going up, because when I was a kid,
Yeah.
that was all owned by the business behind it. Then there was a road going down and in, so that business owned all of it.
Commercial on that side?
Yeah, it's all industrial.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
No,
Yeah,
I just like to know myself.
if you look on the zone. map, it
Industrial,
says it.
I don't
It's
know.
all industrial across the street.
Exactly how far that goes, I think.
So there's a few lots that,
You know that building that's behind over the tracks?
Yeah.
That building owned all that property. We used
Yeah,
to ride
I mean,
there, like-
you're right. I wouldn't, without actually being there and seeing the lines, you're right that it is industrial
Yeah,
over there, but I don't know exactly where that starts.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's,
it's not different. I see.
Yeah, because my great grandfather owned it, and when he owned that section where they built those houses. And he sold it, and then Zani's the one that filled it in, leveled it out, and then they built the houses there. And it was commercially zoned.
Yeah.
I mean, it's industrial across the street and residential on the other side, so. And then they just put in five houses down next to the electric company. That was a single family home that they just put 5 condos in. And it's an eyesore, that's an eyesore, I don't know how they got away with that
I
one,
don't
but.
either.
250 Ash Street.
250 Ash Street, it's like, you know, like they,
It's like a
they have a
little circle.
temporary fence blocking the sidewalk, you know? And then down the street, the next two houses down from me is three houses down from me is a multifamily. Across the street, there's three multifamilies. 1, 2, 3 right down the street, so, you know,
Does it have to do with?
you're
the
talking a matter of 4
1942
houses, you know?
Sorry,
Does that have to do with the 1942 thing?
the 1942
My
thing.
understanding is any property prior to built
Oh.
prior to 1942 can get the multifamily.
I'm not,
There's a footnote in the
There's a
bylaw
footnote to
for a two-family dwelling that if you pre-exist 1942 and can claim, improve some room and.
Yeah, you gotta meet certain criteria.
Most of those buildings in over that area did. My mother's also a title researcher.
That house before 1942 has to have 8 inhabitable rooms.
Right.
So, Mr. Clark, am I correct in understanding that your position would be that you wouldn't object to this with certain restrictions?
I don't know if
But-
you give those because.
I don't know either, but
Okay,
just,
yeah.
I just want to make
The owner
your position
occupied
clear.
honestly was the thing that I ideally would like to have. But I don't know that I would stand in the way of this if they can't get that. But
Okay,
I think if possible, having the requirement for owner occupation.
We
Of
already
one of
have
the
that.
places.
That's the way it is now.
We already have owner occupied.
It's
We did
owner
that in
occupied.
2014.
yeah.
I think the reason
But
for
it's not
trying to do
two-family.
this because in order for, right now they have it as a single with an accessory apartment. And that's used to say a family member or such, whatever. But for finance wise, if they were wanted to refinance, they're only refinancing on a
Single
single
family
family.
home.
If it was,
Right.
if they could obtain, saying they got income from the accessory apartment as a second unit, that would bring their value up and it would also give them more potential
I don't-
buyers.
Argue against it.
Yeah.
I'm saying I want the person renting the apartment to be in the house as well.
Oh, but that you really can't do unless you just
Yeah.
don't give them a permit.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I already have that permit.
Okay, let me just, I'll open it up again for comments from the board too, but I'll just put my 2 cents in. I mean, what was described earlier, I mean, variances do run with the land. So if we were to grant this variance, making it a legal 2-family, then it can be a legal 2-family with tenants and,
We have tenants now.
Yeah,
no, I understand that, but investors who don't live there themselves and so on
yeah, the house doesn't get sold.
forever. Well,
It's going, it's.
you know, real estate lasts forever. So that's,
Yeah.
you know, that's, but that's our concern. And there are very, very specific criteria. It's hard to get a variance. We rarely grant them and there's reasons for that. I'll see, does anybody on the board want to say anything further?
I just think I would request them to take a harder
Yeah.
look at the 4 criteria.
Yeah, I was,
Oh, what?
As Cindy says,
the criteria for
You missed that.
granting a variance.
Well, I mean, you got industrial across the street, so.
I understand
And
that,
then
but.
you got multifamilies down this.
That might factor into the criteria, but what Sy had suggested earlier, and I'm not sure if you were here for that, that you may want to put together a more comprehensive application.
Okay.
And the thing is that if we vote to deny your application tonight, that shuts the door on it for how long? 2 years. So the alternative to that is that you could ask to withdraw your application and come back sometime when
What
you,
would you
have
like
a-
more specific? How would you
Um,
like it more specific is what I like to know.
we'd like you to look at the specific criteria and address those questions and address those issues.
What-
in-
I'm sorry, I
Having-
don't understand what questions you guys are asking.
If-
I've been in
Hold
this
on,
house
he's
for
gonna tell you.
48 years.
He's gonna
Okay.
tell you.
48 years I lived in that
Right.
house. It's been 2-family.
Okay, you saw in the application, and there it is up there.
Yep.
You filled in each one of those topics.
Want better.
But yeah, better explanations addressing the topic, like just to give you an example. The first one asked to describe the circumstances that make this situation unique that would warrant us giving you a variance. And your answer to it was simply what you wanted to do. It didn't really address the question.
Okay.
So that's what you need to do, and maybe you want to consult with somebody who can help you.
I want to refinance the house as a two-family house, so I could get a better rate on the mortgage. Right now, my mortgage is adjustable. My mortgage is $5,500 a month. That's what I pay. Every month, $5,500 a month,
And
plus $10,000 in taxes. When I moved here, it was $2,000. It's my taxes is almost $10,000.
And that's exactly the sort of thing that addresses one of the criteria, which is your hardship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I know you just told us that, but my
I can give
question
you a
is,
hardship letter.
do you want to take the time to come back at some other time, withdraw your application for today, come back and address that criteria in a more formal way? Do you want us to go by what you have told us and vote on that?
Well, I
No,
mean,
we'll pull it.
I think it's ample enough, but I mean, if it's
We'll
not
pull it.
ample enough and you guys want to write it down, I'll write it down.
Yeah, well, like I said, the woman in the zoning department, pretty much messed up all summer by telling people that
Yeah.
Our house was illegal, and we
so-
had open permits.
Well, people were calling to see if it was a two-family, and she let them know that it was not.
Yeah, no,
No,
she said,
she
she says
told them
the
it was
apartment is illegal, and she says they had open permits. She has the permit that was closed, and the apartment is legal. So for the whole entire summer, for 7 months, we had this on the.
I got some of the
market.
calls as well.
I got hurt, I got ran
Right.
over
Yeah,
by
they
a
were
truck.
asking for a two-family.
And I lost the use of my leg. I got 3 new discs in my neck, two rods in the back of my neck, and 4 discs down below.
The
I'm
town
total
clerk,
reconstructive surgery on my
Laura
shoulder.
Jemmy, she's the one who helped
So,
us out and told us
I
that
didn't think I was
we
gonna
had
be
no
able to
open
pay for the
permits and
house.
it was
That's why we
illegal,
were selling
that
it.
it was legal.
But I'm up and running, I'm working, I got a job, I got trucking company going, so I got enough money to pay the $5,500 a month. But if I can't refinance it, I gotta refinance as a single family. I can't include the income that I'm getting. So it doesn't do me any justice. So it's holding me up.
Sure.
That it's not a two-family. I got gases coming in the house. I got the electric company gonna do the electric if this goes through. And then the water department's gonna put in another meter. So there's just more revenue for the town. You guys let it go for the guys down the street and they put in 5 units down the street on a single family house lot. I mean, I don't see the holdup there, you know?
We just gotta
I don't see it. I
write it
don't,
out.
Well,
I'm
better.
explaining it. I don't see, you know,
I'm
this
sorry
is
that,
hardship to us. This is holding us back.
Well, it
You know
held,
what I
it held
mean?
us back all summer. that
And
we
then
would-
this is just
wouldn't-
another kick in the
We
face.
wouldn't
I
be
gotta
here
go-
right now if
I gotta put another 200 letters
wasn't
out,
told.
you know, I gotta write a 200 letters, another $75 in stamps. And then we gotta pay another 200 and something dollars to the Chronicle again, to put it in the paper again. You know, it's a simple thing. We're not changing the floor plan. We're not changing anything to do with it. It's just a simple, we're making it a two-family, you know?
okay,
The water department's gonna do the meter, I'm gonna do the gas, and we're gonna do the electric. It's gonna be a two-family either way. It's gonna be billed as a two-family. You guys are gonna get extra income on that. The water department's gonna get a separate meter. The electric company's gonna have 2 meters, you know?
Mr. China, I think we understand all of that, and I'm sorry if there was any misinformation that was given out by the town that hurt you. I don't know if there was or not, but I apologize if there was. But because all of that happened does not mean that we can relax the rules.
Yeah,
So I've tried to indicate to you what.
that's fine. We'll rewrite it the way you want it, you know, and we'll revisit this again, and we'll just do it all over again, you know? It's gonna be the same thing. It's not gonna change anything. All the pictures are gonna stay the same. Everything's gonna stay the same. The only thing that ain't gonna change is, the only thing that's gonna change is that one piece of paper right there. And I can write it down on a piece of paper right now for you if you like. You know, if that's the only thing that's gonna change, you're gonna save me about $700.
It is. You have to convince any zoning board that you're in front of that you've answered those questions as explicitly as you could possibly do them. Because like I say, variances are extremely difficult to get for the very reason you say. They go with the property. Now you say they're living there as owners now and they would continue to be a two-family. You don't know what tomorrow brings.
Right, but
You really don't
he
know.
could move out and rent his house out, and what
He
do
could
I
run a
get to
business
say?
out of his house.
I can't
It's
say
industrial.
nothing.
I can't say nothing if he runs.
You-
The Chinese lady that lived across the street ran a business out of that house because it was industrial. She ran it out for 25
Or
years.
sewing company.
I lived in this town my whole entire life. My great-grandfather came over in 1890 and been here since. My family's been here for over 100 years. Over 100 years, probably longer than most people in this room. Done more for this town than most people in this room. My whole entire family worked at an electric company. Even my great grandfather was a lineman. He ran the power lines for this town.
Mr. Tyne, we also can't relax the rules because,
I'm not asking you to relax the
Town,
rules, but it's
so-
just a simple, you know?
Yeah.
I'll rewrite the letter and we'll revisit this and we'll do it again.
okay, so are you withdrawing your application?
Yeah, we'll
Yep.
withdraw it.
Third option is to continue if
Continue
Oh,
with,
yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Andrew. Yes, the third option would be to continue this application, leaving it open.
If we continue, it,
Another
then we
meeting.
rewrite it. Rewrite that for you so we can.
Further
Oh,
information,
I mean,
yes.
I'm gonna give you
So-
five
so-
paragraphs, five-page
Would we
paragraphs.
still have to
you know?
send out all the letters and everything again?
No,
no,
no, it would just
We'll
be
revisit it.
posted that it's being continued.
That's
Table it. You're
perfect.
gonna table it?
Yeah, that's,
Is the next meeting all right, the end of February, February 28th?
yep, that's
Excellent.
perfect.
I thank you guys for your time and sorry I feel heated. I'm passionate about the town. I love the city. You know? I never wanted to move out to begin with. I just got hurt. I got ran over, you know? They said I wasn't even gonna walk ever again, so
Sure.
I mean.
I'm up and walking and I do construction and, you know?
Okay, could someone make a motion to continue this matter to the 28th, February 28th?
Yeah, I move to continue this motion until the next meeting on the.
MGL.
Is
Awesome.
there a second?
second.
Right around.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Andrew, motion to continue. All in favor? Okay,
Beautiful. Thank you very
Patrick, I
much.
mean, sorry.
I appreciate
Um,
it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, do you
I have a
have
quick
anything further to
question.
say?
Where do you get an application for a variance, just so I could get educated on?
Yeah.
It's on the website, right?
Yeah, that's how I got it.
Everything's on the website.
I have the website. I can give it in.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
figured, I'm.
Going to Reading
I'm
Town.
Canadian, so that's one other reason why I came to learn.
Find out about it. Yeah,
No, because I know I've been doing it for 18 years and I'm fascinated by the
Thanks, guys.
background and stuff, and I like to be educated so I can tell my clients what's going on,
right. Yep.
Why isn't there a version of like the variance doesn't go with the property? Like, why does it go with the property?
That's something, we have something else called a special permit, which has other requirements to it. That's easier to get. That doesn't go with the property. That's why it's easier to get. But,
some of
yeah, if it,
variance
Fits.
is state law, and so it's all under state law. Same with special
Oh.
permits as well.
so. Okay, so does anybody have anything further to say about this one? All right. Then we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is,
Meeting minutes.
yeah, did you guys review the meeting minutes?
Briefly.
Are we
I
ready to,
admittedly have not.
oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Clark.
Karen here. So when
Oh,
I
sorry.
said public comment earlier, I haven't been to a ZBA meeting in a long time, my apologies, so I wanted to come tonight. When I asked about public comment earlier, I was expecting an agenda with an line item that said public comment, like at the beginning. Would it be okay if I just addressed you as your select board liaison before you got into the minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry, you want to make a general public comment, not about a
Yes,
specific
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Um,
I should
issue
put
on the
that
agenda? Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you then. I thought you guys were together and you did on that one. Sure, I
Yeah,
don't,
We can take it
think
on.
I've ever-
business and-
yeah, sure. So could you introduce yourself again, please?
Absolutely. So Karen Gately Herrick, I'm Vice Chair of the Reading Select Board. I have been your liaison. I haven't been here because sometimes my liaison responsibilities are like, which fire is burning? And you guys haven't really had the need to call out to us. So anyway, but I wanted to come and introduce myself and thank you for the work you do and probably need to come more often. But I would say that Mass Association of Realtors is definitely encouraging realtors to join zoning boards. I had heard, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I had heard that sometimes you were struggling to have a quorum. Is that?
We only have 4 members right now, so
Okay,
Yes.
so that's a real, if you have interest, that is certainly, you don't have to be, if you feel like you're the newbie, you don't have to be the loudest member of the, but that's a great way to learn.
Just clarification, we have we're supposed to have 7 members on the zoning board.
Yep.
5 members and 2 associates.
Yep.
So, and it's a discredit to the community that right now we only have 4. Because if we have 5 members, we vote and 4 out of 5 would pass a permit.
And how do you apply?
Huh?
You need to get all.
It's,
Oh, 100 signatures?
Right?
no, just kidding.
Yeah, you're-
There's information about applying, joining on the Town of Reading website. I think it's under volunteering.
Yeah, there is a tab for volunteer opportunities and you go through what's called the VASC committee process. So you just, it's really a select board.
Or just designate two
Ad hoc,
members
yep.
periodically, and we're recruiting for multiple committees right now, but I had heard perennially that you guys were needing new members, so it's an easy application, you list your credentials, can tell you, as I said, Mass Association of Realtors is saying this is a staffing problem, a volunteer problem across the Commonwealth, and we are the types of professionals that could, you know.
That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great, hello recruiting, woo!
What's your name again?
Just to
My
complete.
name is Karen Gately Herrick.
Karen, I brought a friend with me who's looking to volunteer, so we should
Excellent.
connect.
Well, so I am your liaison, and if I do need something, please reach out, and thank you for the work you do in the late nights and all that good stuff. And I think great.
Thanks.
One more great piece of,
Complete my comment.
okay, one more piece of information.
Point is, we need 5 voting members on this board, okay? We have
Mhm.
4. It's a disservice to people like this couple here because to approve a variance or to approve a special permit, we have to get 4 out of 4 votes to say yes.
Yeah.
With 5 members, 4 out of 5 is all we need. We could have 1 dissenter, we could still pass it, okay? So it's a disservice to people like this because they got to get, all of us have got to agree.
No, you're right.
So if you can find us at least 1 more, would be very, very helpful.
Yep.
But we
And
need
it-
3 more.
And it also limits how we can schedule meetings. If one person can't make it, one person gets sick, we have to cancel the meeting. So,
So it's a problem.
So I was talking to outgoing Assistant Town Manager Jean Delios about, how busy the ZBA has been. And she's like, well, since we got to the above 10% of affordable housing level, and we haven't had 40Bs coming in, like at least the workload has been a little easier. And I guess the good news is that we recently are certified, we're still just above that 10%.
Yep, we're currently above that 10.5%, so that's classified as a safe harbor for 40B development. It's a fluctuating number, so, we're tracking it and pursuing it to maintain that above 10%. The developments have helped downtown as well, so as of now, yes, we are above 10%. In a year or two, when some units lapse and so on, that number will change, and as housing grows, if we don't maintain our pace of affordable development, it can change, and I can talk about this all night and get into as much details as you want. But yes, currently, to answer your question in short, yes, we are above 10%.
She had just commented that the ZBA meetings used to be a lot longer and more frequent when we were below that threshold, so I guess.
I was there.
We're gonna work, make sure we keep it above that threshold.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice to see you all.
thank you. Okay, on to the minutes, guys. Okay, let's start with the February 17th minutes. 2022, were there any comments?
Yeah, I've noticed. 27, yeah, I think on that one, there's a,
And I'm happy to chat too if you stick around.
okay, sorry, I'm sure you've caught more than me, but so at the end of the 3rd paragraph on the 2nd page, it says tension basin. I think that should be drainage basin, maybe?
Detention basin or drainage basin, yep.
I didn't know what attention
Yeah,
basin
all
was.
right. That's the only thing that I noticed on this side at least.
I thought it was meant to be like retention.
Oh,
or something. Okay,
I only had one other comment. Right at the very bottom of the 2nd page, it says Cindy Hartman Sycoette made a motion. Which one of us made the motion?
you did because
I did?
I don't make motions.
I don't remember.
Oh, wait, no, from February, I wasn't chair in February, never mind.
I do agree, it's probably Cy.
Pick one.
Made a
I
lot
don't
of
care.
motions, yep.
I don't remember, I don't
I'll
care.
go back and confirm that. But my gut tells me Cy.
Okay, anything else? All right, can I have a motion to accept the February 17th, 22 minutes with amendments that we just made.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Okay, and that's unanimous, and the 8 minutes from April 7th, 2022.
Yeah, I'm
Any
not
comments?
on the present list, but I'm in the rest of the meeting minutes.
Yeah, I add you every time. I don't know why
The
the.
February one was right, but.
I have no comments.
Okay, Patrick? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the April 7th, 2022 minutes?
Move to accept.
Okay, second, and all in favor? Aye.
Yep.
Any opposed? Nope.
Sorry, first, just on the 217, who made the motion? You again?
Let's just say it was, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
Sai
was Sai.
second. Yep, perfect. Okay, deal. You got it.
Okay, does anybody have any other business? All right, then we are through the agenda. Does anybody want to
Motion to
move to
adjourn.
adjourn? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
The signatures, right? They can keep those.
We've got them right here, yeah. We'll keep them with the application material?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've been in,
Thank you.
I lived here all. Yeah. Right on it.